So, I wanted to test out a couple different types of strings on this acoustic bass guitar. It's an Ibanez AEB105E, I believe. And what we've got on here right now is Phosphor bronze strings, which is kind of typically what you would get on an acoustic guitar because it projects really well. But the problem I'm having with this is it's got a lot on the high end, like too much for my taste. A lot of string noise when you're moving up and down. So I wanted to try something that would mellow that out a little bit, but still project. So this is a pretty nice mic on this camera, so I think it should pick it up pretty well. Definitely recommend using headphones if you want to kind of get the full experience, but I'm going to keep the gain where it's at so that way you get a good sense of what the projection is like too. Alright, let's see what the Tapewounds sound like. So here we've got the Labella Deep Talkin bass copper white nylon tapewound strings. That's a mouthful. But these things are really cool. I like them so far. Just got them tuned up. I've been messing around with them a little bit. Definitely a big reduction in string noise. There's barely anything going on. One thing I didn't touch base on with the old strings was harmonics. But they sound really good on this, surprisingly. Phosphor bronze ones, of course, are pretty good too because there's a lot of high end going on with those. And it seems like they are projecting pretty much as well as the Phosphor bronze, which I was also pleasantly surprised with. Maybe just a touch quieter, but still definitely plenty loud and barely noticeable as far as the difference in volume goes. Another thing I really like about these is that even though it's kind of dampened the high end a little bit, there's still plenty of grit if you dig in. So I think the Tapewound is a really good choice for an acoustic bass like this, rather than maybe a Flatwound going full Flatwound. These things are kind of a nice balance between the grit of the Phosphor bronze and then kind of the more mellow sound of flats. Overall, I really like these Tapewounds a lot. I think they do a nice job, again, of kind of balancing the grit that you would want from the Phosphor bronze, but kind of the more mellow, low end that you would get with rounds. And I think it does a really nice job of, again, kind of balancing and then tamping down that string noise. There's barely anything going on now moving up and down the strings because of that Tapewound finish.